Well, he dropped his new album.
I ain't heard it. I heard it. Some
You
people really like
you were
it.
not mentioned on it.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I haven't heard. I've watched his fans debate whether I was mentioned on it. Nah, he did say this. Nah, that's not referencing him. Like,
I don't think he
because
mentioned you.
he knew, because there was conversations to keep my motherfucking name out your mouth, keep my family's name out your motherfucking mouth, and it was okay. And it was.
Well, before we leave this conversation, just one last question. I don't think I've ever actually asked you this before, but have you ever had a conversation with Mariah and said, what exactly was your relationship with Eminem? What did that consist of?
She talks about it openly. First of all, the song Obsessed, which really bodied the motherfucker. If you listen to what she's saying in the song, she was like, look, dude, he was a cute little white boy that was popping at the time. We hung out a couple of times. I ain't never slept with that dude. Like, if you know Mariah, she's one of those people, and one of the reasons why I fell in love with her, she values herself so highly that even if it's somebody she likes, I didn't have sex with her until she was my wife. Like, that's her level of thinking. And she stands firm in it. She'll be gladly to tell you the story of how she feels about her body and the respect she has for her body. But I'm pretty sure they dated and I had a few drinks and all of that good shit. And even if you listen to all of the disrespectful shit he says, he clearly admits he never had sex with her and it was nothing more than just, a boy, girl, I like you, you hang out with me, I'll fly to you. Like, Mariah's a boss. She ain't got no reason to lie about that shit. And we had that conversation. I was like, why is he going around blatantly disrespecting and lying for clout? And then we still talking about it 20 years later.
Well, on the new album, my friend Lord Jamar gets mentioned.
Yeah. Shouts out to the
He
king.
said,
shouts out to the Lord.
Well, in the last song of the album, Eminem said, I'm far more worse than a 40-some bar Lord Jamar verse. Nothing means more than respect. So when I curse, you could say I swore to protect my image. I have zero time or regard for it never was. Been claiming rap when it's not yours. If it was anyone's house, G-Rap and Rakim would have you mopping floors. Run DMC would have you cleaning sinks.
Yeah, that's him like, hey guys, like me. I know rap. I like these guys. I like these black guys. I don't like that black guy. These black guys are cool. These black guys are cooler than you.
But not that black guy.
No, not that black guy. No. Like, I mean, like,
he sucks.
Yeah. Like, come on, man.
And this right here ultimately stems from my interviews with Lord Jamar.
Always. I'm surprised he ain't mentioned you yet.
He did on the last album. He said, "I'll smack Vlad with an ISIS flag," and I couldn't tell whether it was about me or not.
Yeah.
Because it is my name, but it doesn't quite make sense.
And then the thing, like, that's why I be making fun of his rhyme schemes. Like, at this point, like, he just be wham, 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 wham. It's like, well, don't nobody do that no more.
The whole, it's G-Rap's house, and they would have you mopping the floors and all that. That goes back to Jamar saying that Eminem is a guest in the House of Hip Hop.
Yeah, and that's what, that's why I said his invitation's canceled.
I just don't see how a white person in hip hop could take this as an insult. Like, I was saying this before me and Jamar even met. No, I mean, we had met, but before we started doing interviews. Like, there's an old interview of me where I said, yeah, I consider myself a guest in the House of Hip Hop. I feel very lucky to be doing hip hop for a living in the section that I do it in. And people will say, well, you're a guest, but Eminem is not. And it's like, millions of people listen to my hip hop shit every day.
You're far more certified.
Cut it out.
And I think it's skill set. And I'll give you this prime example of how it works. I'm a practitioner of martial arts. Many different styles. I was a kid. I had a black belt in Taekwondo when I was 12, all of that stuff. Started taking it real seriously, even everything from ninjutsu to Muay Thai. And when you study these things, Taekwondo is Korean, Kung Fu, I'm White Lotus Kung Fu practitioner. It comes from China. Ninjutsu is coming from Japan. I've been in Asia, I've been to Thailand, and you go there, no matter how physically strong I am, no matter how fast my kicks are, no matter how dope I am with learning all the forms and the poonsays and all of that stuff, I will always be a guest to those cultures, because I'm not of that. That DNA is not in me. I was not born into that. No matter how many black belts I get, no matter how many asses I whoop, I'm a guest and I have to bow down to the institution that was built that created those martial arts. Same thing in hip hop. Hip hop is a martial art form. And for Marshall to come into that motherfucker and act like and start claiming you're a god, show me one. I bet you Michael Jai White ain't talking about he's a god of martial arts. Like, no. That's why we bow down to Bruce Lee. That's why we bow down to Chow Yun-fat. Like everybody, you know what I mean? From the directors of the films to the actors, to the people. Now, these are art forms that we respect and we honor, and that's how he should operate, and anyone else who is not of the culture should operate and be comfortable being a guest. I'm comfortable being a guest in the house of martial arts.
I am comfortable being a guest in the house of hip hop.
I like when people invite me over.
In fact, I feel lucky.
Yeah.
I literally wake up in the morning and say, I can't believe I'm actually doing this for a living.
It's dope.
And I'm actually making a very good living off of it.
Right.
Like, it really bugs me out completely. And I feel so honored that.
So you got to start giving back, Vlad. Give back to the kids in the hood, Vlad.
I'm down. I'm down. But, it's just like, like I actually sit down with my idols, like the people that I idolized as a kid, and have conversations with them. Some of them have become my friends, and like it's dope, and I love it. And
you're dope at it, and you do it with respect and reverence.
I do it with respect, and I would never say I built this. This is my shit. I belong here. Like,
crazy.
That's what Eminem said on the last. I belong here, clown. Don't tell me about the culture.
And then when you call a black man a clown, like he don't even know. Like, yo, really? Yeah. Like that's. Like he's and that stuff. And watching Lord Jamar's interviews and watching the stuff how he even broke it down, I agree with 100%, man. Like he's using overtly racist terms of pretty much from calling him a house nigga to only thing he didn't say was you're a nigger.
Well, the last line on that song that Eminem said he's talking about Jamar. He said, yeah, your group was off the chain, but you were the weakest link.
Dude, how you make a chain reference? Like, I mean, I don't know. Even like clown, you're not supposed to call another black man clown, because that becomes from minstrel shows, blackface. Like that's you don't play that. Like I remember there'd be times like that, going back to the NBC shit. They'd be like, yo, Nick, put on this red nose. Fuck out of here! I ain't want no fucking red nose. The fuck you think this is? Like it's just shit like
Let's give you a permanent red nose.
Yeah, like, but they again, like either they don't know or this is some shit where they like, okay, you think you're gonna play with me, and I feel like that's again, individual racism is one thing. Institutionalized racism is something that's embedded in you, and he's been a product of that for a long time.